Okay, in this video, we're given different types of function. Okay, they are functions, but we're going to be asked to find the domain of the function. Domain. Okay, now what exactly is a domain? Okay, domain is in layman term, what exactly is a domain? Domain is a collection of all the x's. All the x's. These are the inputs. Okay, the inputs in here into x, which do not produce an error in a function. Okay, that means we have to give out all the x that after computing the whole thing out, your output will not be error. Okay, what does that mean? For example, when x equals to 0, okay, and your y will be equals to square root of -3, okay. Now we're just talking about real numbers. There's no imaginary number. Okay, so if you put this onto your calculator, square root of -3, this will only give you error, right? Okay, so we don't like that. So obviously, when x equals to 0, okay, this is no good. Okay, when x equals to -1, this is no good. Okay, etc. So we have to find all the x's in which this type of question will give you a number, okay, instead of an error. Okay, so for this type 1 question, okay, type 1 in this sense we have a square root. Okay, in here we know that x minus 3 has to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, why? Because inside this inside this square root here, it cannot be less than 0. Otherwise, you get an error, right? So this whole thing has to be greater than 0, right? And therefore, x is this, right? Okay? So therefore, your answer, the domain is everything, all the real numbers greater than or equals to 3. Okay, again, because anything inside the square root has to be greater than or equal to 0. Okay, this is type 1 question. Now let's move on to type 2 question. Type 2 deals with a fraction. Okay, as we all know, our denominator, okay, the bottom part is called denominator. The denominator has to be non-zero. Okay, so whatever your x that produces a 0 in your denominator, okay, that will be a bad x. Okay, and so this bottom part, okay, this bottom part cannot equal to 0. Okay, and so therefore x squared cannot equal to 4, right? Okay, otherwise this whole thing bottom will equal to 0, right? Okay, but what values of x gives us a 4? Okay, and we know that x cannot be 2 or -2. Okay, if you have x equals to -2, this thing will be 4, right? And therefore 4 minus 4 will be 0. So this bottom part will become a 0, which is no good. Okay, so therefore the domain of the function is all real numbers except 2 and -2. Think about it. When x equals to 0, this is the bottom part is -4. So the whole thing equals to 1 over -4, which is okay. It gives you a good number. No matter what x equals to, as long as it's not 2 or -2, the y will still be a good number, okay? In other words, it will not give you an error. All right?